everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I want to start with a couple of quick movie reviews because last week, after I shot the last episode, I actually went back to the movies again because I heard about this movie that was being shown in IMAX 3D, and you know me and my 3D. And it was called Brahmastra. And I knew literally nothing about it except that it was a Bollywood kind of superhero movie, and that it was showing in IMAX 3D. So I bought myself a ticket and enjoyed it, actually. It's kind of a superhero movie. It's like they're trying to set up their own like cinematic universe with like these characters with powers based on the Hindu deities and stuff, and it's like they're clearly setting this whole thing up. It's a little cheesy. The dialogue is a little on the nose. But it's just sort of like scrappy. It has this scrappy can-do winning attitude that you just can't hate, and you're just like, you go. And it's also fun because it's a Bollywood movie, so like there's these big musical numbers, and now I'm gonna want musical numbers in all my superhero movies because the training montage is a lot more fun when he's actually singing and dancing as he's learning to use his powers. But it was enjoyable. It's really long because Bollywood movies are like 3 hours long all the time for some reason. So I don't know where you're going to see it. I don't know if it's still in theaters. You might be able to, I don't know where it would ever stream. But if you ever do stumble across it, check it out because it was a lot of fun. And then this week, I went back to see Pearl, which is Ty West's prequel to X, that was shot at the same time. Well, not at the same time. They shot it after they shot X because I recall reading somewhere that they were just stuck in New Zealand where they shot it, on a farm in New Zealand, and they were stuck there because of the COVID lockdown and everything, and they're like, well, let's just do another movie. So it's a prequel where you find out Pearl's origin, basically. And it was good. It's literally like, it's an incredible showcase for Mia Goth, who is just incredible. Like, her performance in this is like award-winning if they gave award to movies like this. Like, she's amazing. So, and of course it still does have, you know, the black humor and the shocking graphic violence that you would come to expect. But it isn't a horror movie. I actually don't know how to really classify this, which is, I guess, a compliment. It's a character study. It's kind of a horrific drama, maybe? I don't know. But I enjoyed it. It's not going to be for everybody, because it is very odd, but I enjoyed it. And then as for games, I know last episode I said I would be finished with the Assassin's Creed Valhalla Siege of Paris DLC. I am not, as it turns out, because A, I was a little bit lazy and I didn't play as much over the past week as I normally would. But I did do, like, you know, I wrapped up the Rebel missions. I managed to get my reputation up to 4 to max it out so I could get the trophy, and then I could get the rewards, and I could get the new haircut, which is like, you know, it's a little plain, but it's fine. It's all shaved in the back though, which is a bit weird. And then after I did that, I looked around and I was like, oh, there's still one more raid that I need to do. There were 2 big raids. So I was like, let me just grab a boat and do this raid. And I did the raid, and then I was like, okay, now I can go and do the Siege of Paris. And the Siege of Paris was the actual Siege of Paris. There was nowhere building up to it. It was the actual, okay, let's attack and burn Paris to the ground, which was upsetting. And there's some parts of it that were a little like, oh, that's not fun. I mean, they're not meant to be. So that was fine. But, and there were like multiple sections to that. And then it was time for dinner. And I finished, but it was time for dinner. So I said, okay, fine. So then on Saturday, I was very busy. I didn't have a whole lot of time to play, but I was like, I can squeeze in a little bit of Assassin's Creed so that I can play like the end game, you know, where we're back at camp and we're partying it up and everything, and it was fine. And I raced a pig, which is weird. And then there's a game where you throw cheese. And then Pierre flirted with me, so I totally had sex with him, which was funny because afterwards he's all like, you know, hey, Vor, that was fun, but, you know, I have fun with a lot of people, just so you know. And I'm just like, bitch, don't get ahead of yourself. Like, this was a one-off. Like, I'm not coming back to Paris when I'm done with this. Evor's got a husband back in Ravensthorpe. I mean, come on, dude. So, but that was just a funny little scene. And then you go and talk to Siegfried, and he's, you know, dealing with some stuff. And he kept picking a fight, and I was just like, I don't want this to be a fight. And thankfully, I was able to talk him down and get around that. And I thought, okay, now we're done. And then Pierre shows up and is like, hey, Count Odo just came with sent word that King Charles has kidnapped the queen and her son, and you have to go rescue them. And I was like, God, it's still not done. So on the one hand, it's still not over. On the other hand, hey, it's still not over, because that means that there's more to do. And the more that value I can get out of this DLC, the better. Considering that it was, what, $12.50? I'm definitely getting my $12.50's worth out of this. So, yay! So now come back next episode when I will have finished Assassin's Creed Valhalla's DLC. And hopefully I've gone back to Pokemon, as is the plan. Fingers crossed I stick to it. Who knows with me. I will see you then. Bye!